Hi, 8th grade. How are you? I hope things are going well. Today is April 6th, 2020, and this is a really quick synopsis of what I'm going to expect you to do today on myhrw.com and Delta Math, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The first thing that I want to remind you how to do, and you know how to do this, I know you do, but just in case. The first thing you're going to be doing is evaluating expressions. Okay, remember when you are evaluating, you're getting the answer given the information that they're giving you. So, and an expression, this is not the same thing as an equation. Remember, there's a difference between expressions and equations. The difference is an equation has a, that's right, equal sign. However, an expression does not. So we're not talking about equations. We're talking about expressions, which do still include numbers and variables, but they don't have an equal sign. However, what they are going to have is, let's see, I don't want to do that one. That's the one that I want. Okay, and once you see these, you're going to remember and say, oh yeah, that's super easy, no problem. I've got this. Okay, so if I have m plus 5q, and then what they're going to do, so there's your expression. Remember, it doesn't have an equal sign, so we can't solve it as it is right here. However, if they tell us that m is equal to 1 and q is equal to 5, then absolutely, we can totally do that. So if I plug in m equals 1, so I'm going to plug that in to where the m is, and then I have q equals 5, and I'm going to plug that into where the q is, then my new expression is now going to be m is equal to 1, so I have 1 plus 5 stays the same, q is 5. Okay, so is this going to be 1 plus 55? No, because in 5q, when you have a number right next to a variable, remember we're multiplying those two. So what you're going to do is you have the 5 times 5, and then here you have PEMDAS rules are what apply. So I have, remember PEMDAS, and the multiplication and division go together, and the addition, subtraction go together as well. So I'm not going to add and subtract because that comes later. I'm not going to add the 1 plus 5. You have to do the 5 times 5 first. So you get 1 plus 25, which all of you know is going to be 26. So our answer is 26. Okay, let's try one more. And just to make sure that you've got it down, which a lot of you are saying, oh yeah, no problem. This is so easy. So what if I have this problem where p equals 4 and q is going to equal 3? Okay, so now same thing applies. If p equals 4, what you're going to do is you're going to plug that in where the p is, and then you're going to plug in the 3 where the q is. So when you rewrite that, if p equals 4, I'm going to write that 4 instead of the p, parentheses stays the same. The q now becomes a 3 plus 2. Okay, again, going back to your PEMDAS rules, your orders of operation, we're going to start with the parentheses first. So in parentheses, you get 3 plus 2, which is, that's right, 5. Now, what do I do when I have a 4 parentheses 5? Remember, they're right next to each other. So we know automatically that it's multiplication. So I have 4 times 5, which is going to give me 20. Super easy, right? No problem. You got this. Okay, so that, you are going to do both of those, and then you're also going to write an equation. That's why I have this other one. Okay, so for example, they're going to give you words, lots of words, but you can do it. It's no problem. Easy breezy, right? So let's look at this. We've done this before earlier in the year, but I need to go back over it, make sure that you remember how to do this. For each situation, we're going to write an equation in the form y equals mx plus b. What format is that? That's right. Slope, y-intercept format. Okay, and what was our slope? That's right, it's the m is our slope. And the b is what? That's right. The B is the y-intercept. Very good. Good job. Okay, so that is the y equals mx plus b format. So if we read this, a sales associate is given a $500 hiring bonus with a new job. So that's on top of what they make. Pretty nice, right? She earns an average commission of $250 per week for the next 12 weeks. How much does she earn? Okay, so we want to find out how much she's going to earn total. That's our y. And we know she gets $500 no matter what. Okay, what is that going to be? Is that our slope or is it our y-intercept? Is it our x? It's our y-intercept, right? Because she has that on top of what she's already doing. So plus $500. Okay, that's the hiring bonus. Now she's getting $250 per week. Where does that go? Is that our y, our m, our x? This is our b. So if it's $250 per week, so the first week she makes $250. In 2 weeks she's going to make $500. 3 weeks, $750. 4 weeks, $1,000, right? So, and it tells us how many weeks she's doing that. So, in 12 weeks, how do we figure out how much she's going to make? Exactly, we're going to multiply it. So 250 times the 12. So we have the 250, which is our slope, times our x, because our x is it's going to happen over 12 weeks. So you're going to have 250 times 12 plus 500. Again, PEMDAS rules. Multiply first and then add. Okay? So that is how you would write your linear equation based on the words. Let's do one more. Farm has 75 acres of wheat. A farmer can harvest the wheat from 12 acres per day. In how many days will all of the fields be harvested? Okay, so he has a total of 75 acres of wheat. Okay, and he wants all of that to be harvested. And he's going to harvest it 12 acres per day. So we need to figure out how many days it's going to take. So he has a total of 75, and it's going to be 12 acres per day, which is our x. Because in 2 days, he can harvest 24. 3 days, 36. 4 days, 48. I'm giving you a chance to respond. I know I can't hear you, but I know you're saying it. Okay, so in this case, how would we solve for x? How do we get rid of that 12 that's attached to that x? Remember, they're multiplied, so we have to do the opposite. So you'd divide both sides by 12. So it'd be 75 divided by 12 is going to tell us how many days. Okay? I'm just focusing on writing out the equations based on the words. So that's what you're going to be asked to do. They're going to give you some words and they're going to ask you to write it in an equation format. Okay, so that's just to kind of give you a review on how to do that. So I hope you guys are all doing well, and I am planning on doing either a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting on Tuesday with you, and I will give you all that information as we get closer. Again, I'll talk to you soon.